Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One Doc.
It's your girl, BD.
It is Forens, the foodie.
And we are back.
Yeah, I mean, did you do gold tips?
Yeah, I had this for my birthday.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Because I want to do them, but there's a thin line between, like, the cute and Raz. And
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh,
it took ages. I was in that shop for ages trying to get it right.
Yeah. So we're back. I'm happy to be back, but I'm also not happy to be back. So,
why? Because you're sick?
No, because I'm in this country. Like,
do you know what? Let's do a cheeky check-in. I'll put a timestamp in the description of when we start talking about the documentary, yeah? But let's do a cheeky check-in. So, yeah, we've been out the country, okay? Some of us more than others. I am others. And being back I was even thinking this morning, I woke up and I was like, God, I cannot believe I'm here.
Yeah, this is the worst I've ever felt coming back.
Holiday blues?
I don't even think it's holiday blues. I think it's realization that I need to leave this country.
Yeah, that there's more to life.
I've really, really been thinking that I'm gonna, like, in 5 years' time, if the situation hasn't drastically improved, I'm gonna
But do you think it will improve?
I think we're reaching a crescendo. Like, things are so bad and they're so bleak and it's so difficult to move forward that I just think something has to give. It can't go on like this. I just don't think
things get better here. I think they just get worse. So it's kind of like where you are currently is always going to be better than where you're going to be later, just in terms of like the state of the country.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I know one thing my mum's told me, that once they put up a tax or something goes up, it's not coming down.
Yeah, exactly.
So whatever, I don't know, but I just think the state, like, I don't think things have ever been this bad.
That's what I'm saying.
At least
everyone says that because they just get worse.
Yeah, but it's like unlivable now. And I mean, obviously I'm not in that category where I can't live, I can't pay my bills, but just how far money used to stretch versus now. Yeah,
there's definitely a difference. And obviously we're talking from people who just said that they went away, yeah. So obviously the situation is not dire, but it's a thing where it's like people are feeling it. Like you're feeling it.
You're feeling the pinch.
Like 100% you're feeling it. You're like, wow, payday, when where are you?
Yeah, like
whereas there was times when it was like, oh shit, yeah, payday.
Oh yeah, now literally. It's like, now it's payday. Like, where are you? Like, where art thou? And then before you can even blink, within 5 days of payday, you've paid all your bills. You're like, oh, when is payday again?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This isn't. It's not a quality of life at all. Yeah. I just think it's so bad. Like, we were talking about it the other day, and just theft. Crime is on the rise because people are that desperate.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're reaching a crescendo where something is going to happen. I kind of feel it, but I don't know what that's.
If you were going to move, where would you go? Because I think about this all the time and I just don't know where I would go.
And that's the thing, I haven't decided. It's really dependent on my husband, and it's not dependent on him, but it's just like, let him.
You have to consider another person.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was so bad the other day. I was thinking about America.
Whew.
That is.
Do you know what? One of my family friends, he has moved to America, to New York, and I saw him the other day, and he was just like, yeah, like, I'm never coming back. He was like, whenever I come back here, like, to see family, it just reminds me why I'm no longer there. And he's even talking about work, and he was just like, in America, first of all, there's not that passive-aggressive British bullshit that there is here, yeah? If someone don't like you, you know about it. You know how to navigate the situation. There's not all this reading through the lines,
yeah? Oh, my God, can you imagine that?
Fam. And then also he was like, in America, like, when you work hard, you are rewarded for it. Like, you put in the hours, you are rewarded for it.
I wonder what that's like.
And it's something we've always said, like, in the UK, it feels like there's a glass ceiling. Like, there's only so high you can go. And that glass ceiling, over the years, has come closer and closer to the ground. So it's just kind of like this life is not sustainable.
Wow. Yeah, well, food for thought for me, because I am out. Like, I really can't do this anymore. I cannot.
Operation Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah, but anyways, let's get this cracking.
So this week's documentary is called Sherri Papini, Lies, Lies and More Lies, which really gives away the plot. This documentary really pissed me off.
It equally pissed me off. There was so much chat that just didn't need to be there. The actual substance of the documentary was 30 minutes. I zoned out at a point. I was scrolling through, looking at Kate Middleton theories.
Speaking of which, where is Kate? Where is she?
Where is Kate Middleton?
No, because something has happened.
Something has happened.
At first, it's like a kiki, like, oh, haha, that's so funny. Where is she? But now I'm actually a bit concerned. Like, where is she? And why can't they produce anything tangible, anything real of her?
My tinfoil hat is so firmly on my head. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, something is going on. Something
has happened.
Something in the milk ain't clean. Like, I'm telling you, something serious has happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And that season of The Crown, I will be locked in.
Oh yeah, I'll even start watching from now in preparation.
I'll be locked in.
But yeah, this documentary, it pissed me off, not so much in terms of like the documentary itself, but just the story. I was just like, oh, for God's sake, like, this is so ridiculous. It just irritated me. But
and
anyway,
it was dragged out as well.
Let's get into it. So the whole thing takes place at the end of 2016. The documentary opens up with a 911 call made by this guy called Keith Papini, who is husband to Sherri Papini, who this whole thing is about. So Sherri goes for a run and she doesn't come home, and her kids therefore weren't picked up from school. They live in California, in Redding. So Keith is her husband. He does find my iPhone, and he sees that her phone is at the end of their driveway. And at the end of the driveway, they find her phone, and they find headphones, and they also find some of her hair. Which, like, spoiler alert, this is all fucking bullshit, yeah? But it reminds me of that TikTok. You know that TikTok of that girl, and she was like, oh, like, make sure, like, in my survival kit or whatever, like, if I go missing kit, I've taken out a bit of my hair and put it in. And I was just like, why? Like, how is this about you? Like, how have you managed to, like, parlay this whole documentary genre into you, and how are you making yourself a victim before you're a victim?
Before you're a victim, like, be victimized first.
Right. Like, not even in okay, guys, here's how we keep safe.
Was she?
Yes, she was. Yeah. Of course she was.
Okay.
So it was just giving very much that. So anyway, everyone thinks, okay, human trafficking, all right? So Sherri's reported missing, and she's a white woman, so it's everywhere fast. Okay?
And blonde.
And she's blonde, yes.
Blue-eyed, so you can imagine that is faster than...
Right. And one of our talking heads, Abby, says...
Sherri fit the profile of who the media and the public often care about when it comes to missing people. She was white, she was blonde. She seemed to have this perfect life, a perfect marriage, perfect children.
We learned that FBI are involved right away. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they normally tell people you have to wait like 72 hours or whatever, like to make sure the person hasn't just run off on their own?
So some states say you have to wait. Others, it's immediate. Obviously, considering the persuasion of this woman, I'm not surprised it was so quick. What I am surprised by is the FBI, because for the FBI to get involved in a case, there has to be evidence that it crossed state lines. So I'm not sure.
Or maybe because they thought it was human trafficking. That seems like FBI
that's
thing.
true. Yeah, but even at that, it was quite quick. Swift.
And it's like immediately they were involved. Weird. So anyway, they look at the husband, obviously, but ultimately they decide it's not him. Everyone goes out to look for Sherri. Like, it's a whole community thing. Just like when someone actually goes missing, like everyone does all that, yeah. So investigators go through Sherri's phone, and they see that she's been texting Bear Man. Okay. Yeah. So there's one guy called Donovan.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Shout out to the person that commented that I should keep singing.
Yes.
What I can guarantee you guys is that every episode will include some sort of singing for
and
you.
Update the playlist. Do you know what? So basically on
I forgot
Spotify
about the playlist.
now. The playlist, huh? Oh, you forgot about it?
I completely forgot about the playlist.
It was a great idea. So basically on Spotify, you can like send responses, like when you're listening to episodes. You can probably do it with this one. You can just type what you're thinking, and it comes to us and we can see them. So someone recently commented on the Pharmacist episode 1, and they were like, and she said something about like keep singing, something like that. And I was like, let me go back and listen to that episode. And we used to sing Bear. We actually used to sing Bear. Like every 2 seconds it was a song break.
Yeah. We've lost it as the economy has crashed. So have we.
There's nothing to sing about anymore.
There is nothing to sing about, honestly, other than sorrows. I'll be singing away in the water.
Just the blues.
Because that is how I be feeling.
Me and the blues.
So when you listen back, was it you or me that they were like?
No, of course it was you.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Because I was like, it's enough. Like, it's like that thing. Is that thing that we do? Like, say like I'll start singing a topic, yeah, and then it's like you'll join it, and then I'll continue. You're like, okay, relax.
Yeah.
It was that, but in
Okay.
the reverse. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, nah, well done, sis.
I got to give the people what they want.
I sent it to 4 friends. I was like, I'm sure this is for you. So just so you can feel
And it
good today.
made my day.
I'm glad. I'm so glad. So Donovan is one of the men that she was texting him for 5 years. Okay. That is some commitment.
What are you
Pen pals. What are you talking about?
What is there to talk about for 5 years?
And you're not meeting.
Huh.
So Donovan tells us that Sherri tells him that her man is abusive, mean, violent, whatever. So basically she's out here spreading false narratives about this guy, and there's just bare people in this bit, bare people in Sherri's life saying that she's an attention seeker, she's dramatic, she's crazy. So the police are kind of like, suspicious, but the public are still like, poor lady is missing, right? At this point, sis has been gone for 22 days, okay? And then people start calling the police saying they've seen this lady on the motorway. She's got chains on her. She's frantic, like the chains around her waist. She's zip tied to the chain, like bare bruises. Like she has bruises. She has burns. Her hair was cut into a bob, mind you. Okay.
When I saw the pictures of her, for a minute I was like, are they sure that she faked this? Like it looked real.
I had heard of this case before, so I knew it was.
No, I knew of the case.
That's why I was like, okay.
I knew of the case, but even at that, I was like, "Rah!" Like she actually really looks like.
Yeah, in my head, when they showed the bruises and the burns, I was like, this woman is sick in the head. I was like, nah, this woman is fucked. So Sherri's story is as follows. She goes on a run. Okay, a black SUV drives past her, and then it circles back. 2 Hispanic women. Mis hermanas, this is important, yeah. They order her into the vehicle, and one of them has a handgun. They then drive to this unknown location for an unknown amount of time. Nobody knows anything, okay? And then she overhears them saying that someone bought her. So a cop bought her. So basically human trafficking. And then she was branded. So branded like what the farmers do to sheep. Like you take a hot metal something and then you singe the skin. And it says Exodus or something like that. But we see it. So at this point you're like, rah, like she really has gone through it. Right?
Yeah,
what
she's been through the ringer.
Yeah, she really put her through the ringer. Okay. Sherri also says that before they put her in the car, she snatches out her hair. She left it in her headphones so she could be found. Fine. Yeah. And then it's that part is weird, but another one of the talking heads is like,
it seems really unlikely. When you are in a crisis, survival mode is fight or flight, not how can I leave some clues.
It's unlikely in that situation that you're thinking of how to leave clues.
Yeah.
Like it's a very calculated thing to do, because if someone is snatching you, you're trying to escape, you're trying to get away. You're not trying to be like, let's plant a breadcrumb and maybe the police will find me. Like, this is not that. So at this point in the documentary, we see the video interviews that Sherri has with the FBI, and it's really, really clear. Like, it's as clear as the documentary footage. Like, she's telling her story, she's giving a bunch of detail that's not necessarily like important, and she seems more annoyed than distressed. And she gets into talking about these 2 Hispanic women who allegedly kidnapped her, and they both have very distinctive like features, personalities. One is older, she's really mean, she's the one that hurts her. One is younger, she's more sympathetic. Remember that one. So she's talking about her bruises, injuries, and then she comes up with this thing where she's like, oh, like they kept me there. One day I hear this gunshot, and then after that I just never saw the older one, and the younger one came and like set me free. So she's trying to like, she's been watching too much Law and Order. Yeah. She's been trying to like plant the idea that like, you know, the captor's got into a fight, the younger one let her go, whatever.
She also keeps going on about how she's watched a lot of crime shows and read Elizabeth Smart's book.
Yes, she does.
Which is like, shut the fuck up.
Just shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. So now the police give a press conference with the info that Sherri's given them. And so this is kind of like, I mean, I get why the police do it, but they basically are making the public aware of these 2 Hispanic women who've committed this terrible crime. Now,
allegedly,
exactly. And now obviously this is all a lie, yeah, but it's also so cruel and calculated, because because it's all a lie, Sherri obviously made these women up, yeah? And so she made them Hispanic.
Yeah.
So she chose for them to be Hispanic. And she also says that they were playing mariachi music in the car, just in case it wasn't Mexican enough, just in case you had any doubt, yeah?
So it's not racist enough. Let's make, like,
Yeah,
and like,
exactly.
people don't just listen to mariachi music, like, driving
Just
down.
in the car willy-nilly. And it's like, even if they do, that's not why they kidnapped you. Because they didn't, because nothing happened. Like, what was the significance of that?
What was the reason?
It literally, even if they kidnapped you, what was the significance of the mariachi music? Like, what detail did that add? Like, what information did we glean from that? So we get this talking head who highlights why, like, this was so dangerous of Sherri to do. Not even just, oh, you wasted police's time, but it was dangerous of you to lie and insinuate that your attackers were Hispanic.
At the time of Ms. Papini's discovery, Shasta County was already lathered up to hate Latinos. Certainly with Mr. Trump going into office, it sort of exacerbated some bigotry and out-and-out racism.
Racism, bigotry, that's all fueled by the fact that she's like started this thing like, oh, how can they do something like this to one of us, basically. Yeah. Sherri wants to be a victim so bad. It's just like, in this life, like, do you have no problems? You have such little problem that you have to try and fabricate them.
Yeah, victim kink,
bro. So there's a little bit about Sherri's high school manifesto, which basically just proves that she's racist and she's always been racist and she stays racist, and she denies it. This is the bit that Forenz just mentioned. The whole Elizabeth Smart's book thing, like, she mentions it so many times.
Yeah, she does.
And the police are suspicious of her at this point, but they can't prove that she's lying. So months and months go by. Sherri's back home. She's living her life. So she goes to therapy, and the therapy is paid for by the Victims Compensation Fund, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
If you are a victim of crime in California, you're eligible for like money from this fund. And Sherri gets $30,000 to use for her therapy. This comes back later. Okay. So now we get this composite sketch. It's been a year since the alleged kidnapping, and we get the sketch of the kidnappers. Okay, I'll speak on that later. The Latino community obviously is negatively impacted.
Can I just say, what did they sketch? What
was
that? Because what was it?
Because
okay. We're aligned because we'll post a picture if we're able to. If I'm able to, I'll get a picture. In fact, I should be able to find one.
It's like I an artist I am not, okay?
But I know enough to know that was not what anything could be. Yeah.
Thank you. So here's where you could say the story breaks, and this happens maybe like an hour into this like hour and a half documentary, so we could have gotten here so much quicker.
There was no need for it to take this long. Like, they spent so much time showing us footage of her talking about her implants, and there was no need.
Waffles.
Oh my god.
Okay, do you know what it is about Sherri? Yeah, Sherri fucking loves it. Yeah, she loves it. She loves it, like having the center of attention, the spotlight, just talking. She loves it.
Yeah, she
and it's just like, you can see it in her eyes that she's just so like excited and just happy.
Yeah.
Such a weirdo. So now remember, in all this story that Sherri's been telling you, there are no men involved. It's these two Hispanic women, and that's it, right? Mm-hmm. However, they find male DNA on her underwear and her clothing when she was found.
This is funny because of what comes up later, but yeah.
Right. And the DNA is not from her husband. Here I've put, Sherri is so dumb.
Change your knickers. Was she wearing the same pant the whole time?
And it's like, you weren't even really captive, so you really could have just
bought new knickers.
You could have.
I guess to sell the story, you had to be at least, I guess, in the same clothes, but you could change your pant. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, no one would have known what pant. Or maybe she thought that they would know how long she was wearing the pant for, so she...
What, a sniff test? Like,
maybe, I don't know.
Be so for real.
It was very ridiculous. Now, one thing about the police is that, like, they will wait until they find what they need, because we're now 2 years post-kidnapping.
Yeah.
And the police, I don't remember how this happened. Again, I kind of zoned out, but... the police are tipped off about Sherri's ex-boyfriend. His name is James Reyes. And it turns out that the DNA found in her underwear and on her clothing is his.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Reyes sounds like a Latina name.
Right.
Okay.
I thought the same thing.
The hate they give.
I actually had to go back to check the captions to make sure that maybe, because it's even spelt the way that I would expect it to be spelt.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Well, okay. Yeah, interesting. So the police interrogate him, and it's really obvious that he's hiding something. Soon, he admits to everything. Sherri's trying to get away from her husband. James goes to get her. They drive to his house, and that's where she's been the whole time. So she is in this house. She's like cleaning the house, living her life, chilling. And on purpose, she's eating hardly anything. So that, I guess it seems like she's lost weight.
So she always, because like you, for a minute you think, okay, maybe she just wanted to leave her husband. And
or she snapped and she just wanted to get away from it.
Yeah, and then things got out of hand. But she actually had always planned
to come
on
back.
fabricating this story. Because why were you not eating that much? You wanted...
Exactly.
Fuck me.
Exactly. And it's like, I also think it's so irresponsible because you knew that this was some bullshit and you just left your kids to not get picked up from school. Like, you knew that, like, do you know what I mean? There's just so many things. It's like, you, like...
Yeah.
Hey, so, there's a bit where Sherri is, like, describing where she was held captive. Yeah. She describes this, like, particular table. She describes the room she was in. She describes a bunch of things. And, like, when they go to James's apartment, like, everything is there. She basically was describing his apartment.
People are too stupid.
You're so dumb. You're so dumb.
Like, you obviously did not read Elizabeth Smart's book.
But also, Elizabeth Smart was an actual victim, right?
Exactly. So it's
so
what the fuck? I guess she read it thinking about how to present as a victim. Because it's stupid. Why would you describe where you actually were?
And I guess it makes it so that it seemed more believable because she was remembering where she was. I do you know what I think it is about Sherri? I think that Sherri thinks that she is smarter than everybody else.
So she didn't think she'd get caught.
Exactly, and that she can out manipulate and all that stuff everybody else because there's no reason. It's like children, like, you know, sometimes children will like be hiding. They do hide and seek, and then they'll close their eyes and they think that, like, oh yeah, you can't see them anymore. That's the vibe.
Yeah, that's true.
Now we get into the injuries because as Foren said, like, this is not makeup, this is not like, this is real, these are real injuries. She's really bruised, she's really been branded, like this is proper, right? So James shed some light on this situation. He says, yeah, like, she basically did it to herself. And he helped her.
Fucking hell. I can't even, like, if I've got a piece of skin that's like, if you know when you try to pull it off and it's getting a bit too
too close to the
I can't even, I have to leave that shit. How do you do that to yourself?
You're sick. She's sick because even with the branding, they went to the shop and bought the tools and then he did it to her.
She's sick in the head. And
that branding, that's going to be there forever.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, now you're just chilling with this stupid brand, and when people ask you, you have to tell them this story.
No, she'll probably fabricate.
Fuck me.
It's so crazy. So here everyone is mad because he's also mad because I'm sorry, like, I get that you love her or whatever the case may be, yeah, but it's also kind of like,
she's insane.
Like, why did you agree to this? And she's your ex. That means that you escaped her. That means that your life is moving forward without her in it.
And you've gone back.
And it's not even like they live down the road. He lives far. He lives really far from her.
Yeah. It's weird. And even if you thought she was doing it to escape her husband, you didn't question why she was branding herself.
Yeah. It's true, because even if she told him, like, oh, hey, like, just need a break. Can I come stay at yours or come pick me up? The branding, the bruising, like, surely... And then are you even dumb? Because what if she turned around and said to the police, this guy did this to me?
Bro. But anyways, men think with their dicks, so...
Do they think? They don't even use that, like...
True.
So, we hear that Sherri loves to be a damsel in distress, and this is no surprise to anybody because clearly she wants to be a victim so bad. And then according to James, one random day...
But sorry, before we get there, he says that they didn't have sex. So why is his DNA in your panties?
If you call me daddy.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly. So they probably had sex then.
Yeah, because what else were they doing? Even your worst enemy, if you're locked in a house with that person for, like...
And also, then what was in it for him?
That's
he
what
just
somebody
out of
was
the
saying.
goodness of his heart beat her up because she asked.
Yeah, he was definitely getting his dick wet. Let's be so for real.
Oh, I really feel sorry for Keith. Anyway, we're gonna get into this. Is when it started getting good. It only started getting good when they do the interview bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, one day Sherri's like, "Oh, I want to see my kids," and I'm just like, "So you don't have kids before? Is it only now you remembered your kids?" And like, why would you put your kids through that when you know that you're fine?
It's
just
a
so
sickness. It's a sickness
bro.
on 50 different levels,
bro. So okay, so remember she was found with zips and chains and shit, yeah, zip ties and chains and that. So on the way to releasing her, quote unquote releasing her, they went to go and buy the zips and chains and then put them on her, and then he left her by the side of the road. These are the people who need financial crisis, because why are you spending money on this dumb shit?
Ciao.
So James, okay, cool, let's get it. So James's interview debunks everything Sherri has said. So now the investigators have something that they can confront Sherri with, right? Bear in mind, Keith is there. So they're in her house. They lay... Oh, are they in her house? Oh, no, they're not. This is in the interview room. Yeah. And we see all of it.
Yeah.
So they lay out pictures of the furniture that Sherri had described, and now Sherri's acting like, oh, like I can't really remember, it's been so long, which it has,
yeah,
but obviously this is not true. So Keith, however, is excited, and he's like, yeah, like that's it, like this is everything that you described, like yes, we've caught them. And he's looking at the pictures, you can see him like excited, like oh my goodness, like babe, this is the same thing that you drew, babe, this is the same thing, like they found the person. And the way that the investigators like laid out what they knew, to me, it was perfect. It was like cinema, yeah. It was like when you're being led into a lie, yeah, and it's like a cul-de-sac of a lie, and it's like there's only one way out of here, and that's the truth. Yeah. And if you want to tell the truth, we're gonna remain here. Like, there's no way out.
And that's exactly how it was. And she, oof, that girl.
We're showing you all of this because ultimately this is the house that you were at. We talked to the people who lived there. We talked to one guy who did see you during this event. It led us to a specific person, but not a female. I'd like to talk to you more about those things, and we can do it with Keith here, or we can ask Keith to leave.
It was so sweet, yeah. So they were showing, the investigators are like, listen, we're showing you this because this is the house. Like, we met someone who saw you and it wasn't a woman like you told us. Yeah. Giving her a chance to come clean. And then they say to her, listen, we can do this with Keith here, or we can do this without him. It's up to you. And so she is like frozen. She's like, you know that meme of the black woman in like the Judge show? And she's kind of like, that is what's her name? Sherri the whole time, yeah. And then she slowly turns to look at Keith. We see all of this, mind you. And we can't see Keith's face, but his body language goes from being like upright, like alert. He's more reserved. He's kind of like sitting back in his chair.
Because he's deep in it.
Yeah, he's like deep in it. And this was so tactfully done by the detectives. And I'm currently watching Law and Order SVU, yeah. And I was like, if this was Stabler, yeah,
Stabler would have slammed his hand on the table. He would have been
tell me why you lying, you fucking slut.
Spitting in her face. Do you know how many other victims we could have been out on the street looking for? Benson would have been like, you're lying, and we know you're lying. I don't know if those are their accents, but they are so problematic as characters. Who, Stabler and Benson?
Both of them. Yeah, they have serious issues.
Yeah, it was a very, like, I was recently watching the old seasons, and I was like, yeah, it was quite toxic. Like in real life, Stabler was very unstable. He shouldn't have been doing that job. Yeah, he's just lucky he had a fat ass. A fat ass.
So on Netflix, yeah, they have, I think it starts from season 6.
It's 6,
or the 6th year. But then they don't have 8. What happened in 8? Because 8 happened, and then Olivia comes back in 9. She has no hair, or her hair's really short. Something, I don't know what happened. Finn's not around.
Who? Stabler?
They have 6, 7, 9, 10, 11.
Stabler's not around in 9.
No, Stabler's in. No, he is. Finn's not in. Well, he's not in it that much anymore, and he cut his hair.
Oh, I don't know.
Olivia's hair is mad short. I'm like, what the fuck happened in 8? And
No,
why didn't they have
I
it?
mean, I've watched every single season, so I pretty much probably would know what happened, but I can't remember what was distinct about
Probably
that.
if you watch the other ones, you'll remember.
Yeah,
I just thought it was weird that they don't have season 8. I was like, wow, what did season 8 do to you?
No, but I've watched season 8. I watched it on Amazon Prime as well recently.
Is it on Prime as well?
Well, I paid for it. There's a point where I just wanted to watch everything all over again.
Do that.
But I've watched I've watched all of these seasons and episodes.
I'll Google it. If I cared enough, I would have Googled it.
Wait, have you never watched that season?
What, season 8?
Yeah.
I never watched it religiously. Maybe if it was on TV at some point, I would have watched it. But I never watched it properly.
I've watched every episode. It's kind
of I'm not. Law and Order SVU is so fucking ridiculous. I feel like it was written by someone with like crazy ADHD, because something happens, and then by the time you get to the end, you even think to yourself, how did we get here? Like, what even is so? And then it will just end, and you're like, oh, so okay,
it does. Maybe because
it is so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
It is. Like, how things start off at the beginning is rarely like where it's going to go to in the end.
And I understand like the red herring and like you really want to keep that, but sometimes I'm just like, no, is this the same? This cannot be the same episode, surely. Like, this person died and now we're talking about fucking, like, I don't know,
50 different rapes.
I don't get it, but it's cool. It's a cool show to just like have on. But yeah, them two are
toxic.
fucked.
Yeah.
If this was Stabler, this would have been very different. But these detectives, I'll give them, it was very tactful. And maybe that was also because of the kind of the quote unquote victim that we're seeing. Like, there's a certain privilege in the fact that they were very gentle with her. But also maybe because they know that psychologically she's a bit.
Yeah, you have to be crazy to do this. So there's so many
you have to handle with care.
Yeah.
So Sherri asked to speak with Keith alone. And this is very this didn't surprise me that she did this based on the manipulation that she's been doing over time. It's like, you want to get the person that you've wronged alone so that you can
tell them your
their
story.
narrative.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she says that, she really doesn't want the woman to get arrested, the young woman of the two Hispanic women, because she let her go. So she is sticking to the story. She is like, bro, she is like, listen, like, I don't want to tell the police anything. I don't want to cooperate because I don't want her to be found. I don't want to get her in trouble. And Keith is deep in like, rah, I have married a monster, because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make
anyone
a
with
lick of sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Like,
you weren't even there long enough to form Stockholm syndrome, so what are you talking about?
Exactly. And it's like, okay, cool, she let you go, but you were still arrested. And then where is this dead body of this other supposed thing? So the police are like to her, listen, let's stop wasting time, stop fucking around, DNA, James Reyes. Table, James Reyes. Branding, James Reyes. Like, everything.
Coochie, James Reyes.
James Reyes. Everything, James Reyes. And Keith was like, oh, your ex, like, James Reyes, yeah. Sherri starts crying. Obviously, she starts crying, yeah. And now she's like, oh my goodness. So now she flips from the woman.
That is a currency that has not been affected by recession. White women tears.
Oh, white tears. Oh yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. What I would do to have a bank full of that. Growth. Literally.
I was on Twitter the other day, and people were just talking about like how we need to just start crying. So one girl was like how she was telling her manager. Yeah, how she did something about HR. The manager did something wrong to her. The manager started crying. She said that she went to the area where everybody goes. She started wailing. She's like, everyone was comforting her. Oh, go to HR, go to. Sometimes you have to fight tears with tears.
You just have to cry. Honestly,
we don't cry enough. Every time, strong black women. No,
girl,
I am not.
Girl.
So she's crying, yeah, and now she's surprised. Oh my days, James is involved. Like, I can't believe that he was a part of it. Like, that's crazy. And then she asked for a lawyer. Which I was like, this took you long enough, sis. Like,
literally.
Keith leaves the room. Sherri admits to talking to other men, but she maintains the lie. And to be fair to Sherri, like, she asked for a lawyer twice, and they still question her.
Yeah.
Sans lawyer, but obviously fuck Sherri. So now we're getting to the end of the documentary. Okay. It's March 2022. Sherri is arrested and charged with lying to federal agents, amongst other things. She pleads guilty. Keith files for divorce. Go Keith. I hope he's happy right now. She is sentenced in September 22 to 18 months only in federal custody, and then $300,000 in restitution because of the money that she got for the therapy from the victims fund, and then obviously the money that the state or whatever spent on the case, so she has to pay that back.
And that is what I call a perfect happy ending.
Honestly, full circle. So Sherri goes to prison in November 2022. Apparently she was meant to be released in February, but I think now she's meant to be released in May. I looked it up. But yeah, that was the documentary.
Would I recommend you watching it? No. Was the story wild? Yes. Could it have been covered in 30 minutes? Yes. I think that summarizes all of my feelings.
Do you know what I thought about this? I was like, maybe this story was the inspiration for Carly Russell. Do you remember the black girl who was like, oh, I saw a baby on the side of the road?
Oh yeah.
And she got...
Do you know what? I never followed that story. At that point in time, I felt like it was news overload. I couldn't keep up with all the ridiculousness that was going on.
Yeah, I just remember that because I was like, wow, documentary soon come.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I think her man left her.
Good for him.
But you have to, because if someone can like, obviously there is a mental illness element to this.
Yeah, for sure.
So that person should receive all the help that they need.
But without me, I don't want to be part of it.
And they should focus on their focus. Yeah, don't focus on me. Focus on you right now. You need that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So now it's time for
the real crime, I think, was the beard.
Our segment where we focus on something during the documentary that may not be criminal, but would definitely consider to be a crime.
Mine was that little fur patch that James Reyes had under his chin. I fucking hate that shit. I don't care, like, what...
Like, commit or not, like...
Yeah. Guys, I think you know what I'm talking about. There's a celebrity that had that as well. I have his face in my head, but I can't remember his name.
The one with the spiky hair?
Yeah.
The one that... it's like blonde spiky hair.
Yeah. I don't know if they call it... Well, black people, I think, call it a soul patch, but... It's that little triangle thing that men grow like under their lip. Like, what the fuck?
Like on their lip chin
what
area.
What the fuck is that about? Like, it looks like the landing strip women leave on their coochie.
Yeah.
Like,
and it just seems like you actually did that because it's not that the hair only grew there.
No,
like,
they
you
do
had
it.
to like groom it. You had
it's actually repulsive. Like, it's disgusting. That is my...
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah, I agree. Mine was the police sketches. And the police sketches, the eyebrows, yeah. So she had
those eyebrows were racist.
No, she had gone to great lengths to design these two women, yeah, that were different from each other. Like complete opposites. One was young, one was old, one was nice, one was mean. And one, the eyebrows were bushy as fuck, yeah, and the other one, they were like teeny weeny, like 2000s eyebrows.
But it's not 2000s. You know that Mexican, is it chulo or that thing where they do the lip line?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's why I said it's racist, because you're like, how
with the lip liner.
Yeah, how Mexican can I make this so it's believable? Like, be so
ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. I was just like, girl, like, what a waste! What a waste! What a waste of time!
What a waste of time. But yeah,
that documentary was really annoying to me. The case was really annoying to me. I think in this life, like, just be normal as much as possible. And if you're having feelings, or you feel like you want to do something that's not normal, then you should speak to someone. Talk to Frank if you want. Like, you should seek help.
Frank. Seek help.
You should seek help.
And stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah, I agree. But next we're doing the credits. We need to figure out what we're doing it about, because on the schedule it says one thing, but we might want to do something else in the interest of time and continuity.
Okay.
Or consistency is what I mean.
We'll be back with that one. Might be a Kinder Bueno surprise next week.
Oh my goodness. You know, I've really been in my Kinder Bueno era.
As in eating it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kinder Bueno.
I had one like
Which
last
one?
week.
The black one or the white one?
I don't think we're talking about the same thing. Are you talking about the egg?
No, I'm not talking about the surprise. I'm talking about the Kinder Bueno.
Like the bar. Oh, I had the brown one, the normal one, with the white.
Yeah, I like both of them.
With the white
sometimes
bits
I just want a bit of a
inside.
change, and I get the white one.
No, I like it brown with the white bits inside, and then I lick it.
Yeah, same. You like break it apart and you lick it. Yeah, that's the only way to eat it.
That's the only way to eat it. It's nasty.
Yeah, that's the only way to eat it. You lick it real good. Also, I'm not drinking for 3 months.
Okay, that's...
I'm on a little fitness journey, right? And so I was going to do 75 hard, but I know myself and that wasn't going to happen. So there's this app, called Soft Challenge, and you basically could put in whatever parameters you want and however long you want to do it for. And then you have to like tick it off every day. So I've put mine for 90 days. I have to... I have to read every day, no alcohol, go gym at least 4 times a day, or tennis or whatever. And then what else do I have on there? I have a few things on there, and I'm doing that for 30 days. So I'm not drinking, which has been all right so far, but I haven't really gone out. So it hasn't really been very difficult.
Well, kudos to you. Could never.
I know,
be
right?
me.
And I'm going to brunch in a couple of weeks. So
what are you doing? A dry brunch?
oh shit! I'm actually going to a rocker brunch. Okay, I'm gonna have to exclude that day because it's a
you can
brunch.
you can add another day on, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah,
because this brunch has been booked for a while, so low key. But yeah, other than that though, I'm not drinking. So it's been 10 days and I have been doing great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel very proud of myself. I feel like I've accomplished something, you know.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks, girl. Anything you'd like to say to the people then before we go?
No, I'm sick. I want to sleep.
Yeah, you are, innit? That's what happens when you do too much enjoyment.
Honestly, you pay the price, but was it worth it? Yes. Will I do it again? Yes.
Yes. What was Cayman Islands like? Was there like illegal shit happening?
What do you mean?
Because that's where all the
do you know
offshore
what?
accounts
No,
are, right?
I didn't really see that. There were a lot of rich people. You can tell people that have money. Everything is so
love that.
expensive.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a very like it's not somewhere. Like I said, I'm happy I went because I probably wouldn't travel there again.
Really go again.
Like
yeah.
it was beautiful.
You had a reason to go.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Like my spirit and soul was renewed. I think partially, obviously, that's because I think
because you're with your family, innit?
Yeah, I was gonna say my whole family, my extended family. So obviously, like it gives me life, but it's just not somewhere I'll go again because it's so expensive.
Oh man, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, everything is imported as well. So like even groceries,
okay.
like we went to shop and we bought like how much, and Daddy Mo's spent like $150. Like what?
It's even good that you're with your parents. At least you have some buffer there.
I kid you not, I spent $40 that whole trip. And that $40 was just the taxi to the airport and back because I wasn't flying.
Yeah, because you were by yourself.
Yeah, if I was with my parents, I wouldn't have spent shit. I was going from different uncles and aunties' villas to eat. Like there was even a day I was on the way to some restaurant. My auntie said, "Oh, come, with plenty of food in the villa." That was
so why am I spending money?
Literally, because my parents hadn't landed that day. I said, "Look at God and look at God."
I love that for you.
So yeah, and it was a very, very fantastic.
I'm glad you
trip.
had a good time, man. It's been a very expensive first quarter.
Huh?
I'm about to be inside.
I'm about to be in this of sides because the coffers are empty, honey. Let me be real. Ain't shit in there but tumbleweed. So we go again.
Boy, but yeah, guys, thank you so much for rocking with us. And apologies for the extended break, but low-key we needed it because life happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we appreciate you being here. Share, follow, subscribe, all them thing there. Rate us as well. Please leave a review if you want to or a reply, and we will see you next week. Oh, you can find us everywhere at 2 Girls 1 Doc. On TikTok it's at 2 Girls 1 Doc podcast. On that's it, right? And then 2girls1doc@gmail.com. If there's any documentaries you want us to cover, I know a lot of stuff is coming out on Netflix.
Yeah.
Or a lot of stuff has come out on Netflix and is coming out on Netflix. So anything in particular you want us to do, let us know. We're about to plan the rest of the year and what we're trying to do. So yeah, let us know and we can prioritize those ones.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.